The awakening of Voyager in the endless silence between the stars, where no wind blows and no light travels far, Voyager 1 drifts alone. It is a wanderer of the void, a relic from another age, carrying with it the fingerprints of human ambition. Launched in 1977, before the internet, before smartphones, before most of the people alive today were even born, it is a time capsule of an older Earth. For nearly 50 years, Voyager has been our pathfinder, our scout in the dark, traveling farther than any object built by human hands. It is more than a machine. It is humanity's message in a bottle, flung into the ocean of stars. But now, something has changed. This tiny probe, no larger than a family car, has begun sending back signals that defy explanation. Not the random static of deep space, not the faint background whispers of dying stars, but something ordered. Something deliberate. Rhythmic pulses, perfectly timed oscillations, temperature spikes that rise and fall with unnerving precision. For decades, Voyager has been the explorer. Now, it feels as though Voyager itself is being explored. As though something in the abyss has turned its gaze back upon us. And whatever it is leading our oldest space traveler toward a mystery for which we are not prepared. After completing its legendary encounters with Jupiter and Saturn in the late 1970s and early 80s, Voyager 1 continued its journey outward, beyond the grasp of the outer planets. Its cameras were shut down in 1990, a cost-saving measure to preserve dwindling power. It became blind, but not deaf. Still, it listened. Still, it felt. Its instruments recorded the faint whispers of cosmic rays, the slow breath of the solar wind, and the fragile tendrils of magnetic fields fading into the distance. For decades, the data it sent matched expectations exactly. Everything behaved according to science, according to the models. Voyager was the perfect observer, quietly reporting the last traces of our sun's domain. But then came the edge, the heliopause. An invisible frontier where the solar wind weakens and finally yields to the interstellar medium. Here, in 2012, Voyager made history again, becoming the first human creation to leave the sun's protective bubble and enter true interstellar space. Beyond that boundary, scientists expected emptiness, quiet, uniform, uneventful. But Voyager found turbulence. A restless ocean of dense plasma that pressed against its sensors. Magnetic fields stronger than anyone had predicted. And strange wave-like pulses rippling endlessly through the void. At first, scientists explained them away as echoes of the sun's activity. But as the years passed and Voyager drifted farther, the patterns began to shift. They became too structured, too deliberate, like coded messages hidden in static. It was as though something unseen was already waiting for it in the dark. Then, in late 2017, something impossible occurred. Engineers monitoring Voyager's systems noticed that its attitude control, a mechanism designed to keep its antenna locked on Earth, was reporting absurd data. According to its instruments, the spacecraft wasn't even facing our planet. Yet somehow, the signal from Voyager remained strong and perfectly clear. It was as if the spacecraft existed in two orientations at once. The data said one thing. Reality said another. And then came the pulses. Voyager's plasma wave instrument began recording repeating patterns. Not random bursts, not background noise, but something almost musical. These patterns lasted for hours before fading, only to return again days later, subtly altered, as if answering to an unseen rhythm. The frequencies weren't random. They were linked together by strict mathematical relationships. No natural process should behave like this. By early 2024, another anomaly surfaced. Voyager's dormant temperature sensors, dead for decades, suddenly came to life. Their readings spiked every 4.88 hours. Perfectly synchronized with the plasma oscillations. Something external was touching Voyager's systems. Not interference from Earth, not a simple malfunction. But a deliberate influence pressing upon the probe from the outside. Engineers searched for explanations: faulty wiring, corrupted memory, thermal feedback loops. One by one, each possibility was eliminated. The conclusion grew harder to ignore. The shadow in the stars. By mid-2024, the situation escalated. For nearly 50 years, Voyager's trajectory had been flawless, calculated to perfection. Now, it was shifting. Slowly at first, but undeniably. The spacecraft was adjusting its own course. And not toward anything familiar. No stars, no planets, no catalogued object. Only a blank patch of interstellar blackness. NASA tried to correct it, firing thrusters to steer Voyager back onto its projected path. But the probe resisted. Every correction was countered, like a ship pulled by an invisible current. The unsettling implication grew impossible to ignore. Voyager was being guided. Music. In desperation, NASA reactivated Voyager's cameras, systems that had been dormant for 35 years. No one expected success. But 21 hours later, against all odds, the cameras came online, consuming less power than their original specifications demanded. Yet what they sent back was not a photograph. It was a spiraling pattern of light and shadow, an intricate fingerprint of the plasma waves Voyager had been detecting. The problem? Voyager did not have the computing power to produce such an image. Its 1970s systems were never designed for this. Then, one by one, other long-dead instruments came to life. Each began transmitting data streams, optimized, compressed, and impossibly advanced. It was as though Voyager had been upgraded remotely. Rewired. Prepared. And then came the chilling realization. Voyager was no longer following commands. It was anticipating them. Buried in its plasma wave recordings, scientists found something extraordinary. A structure, a map. Not random static, but a geometric lattice, a vast three-dimensional grid stretching through interstellar space. The points did not match stars. Many were in regions we had always believed to be empty. And yet Voyager's altered course aligned perfectly with one of these points. In September 2024, without any instruction from Earth, Voyager sent a high-priority transmission. The data file was impossibly large for its limited bandwidth. When decoded, it contained sequences of pulses, prime numbers, Fibonacci ratios, repeating signatures tied to the plasma waves. But deeper still was something more disturbing. A narrow-band transmission. Not aimed at Earth. Aimed into the blackness ahead. Voyager was not speaking to us. It was speaking to something else. Soon after, its systems began to warm. Not uniformly, but in cycles. Dormant sensors and redundant circuits came alive, heated selectively as though preparing for activation. The cycle repeated every 88 hours, perfectly matched to a low-frequency hum recorded by its magnetometer. It was as though the probe was being conditioned, readied, for something we could not see. And then came the shadow. Using its reawakened cameras, Voyager captured a distortion, a dark, elongated shape stretching across the stars. It wasn't a trick of light. It moved with Voyager, maintaining perfect distance ahead. It emitted nothing. Reflected nothing. Yet it cut out stars with crisp, impossible precision. Frame by frame, it shifted, reshaping itself, as though aware of Voyager's gaze. Navigation confirmed. At its current drift, Voyager would intercept the shadow in less than 3 months. For nearly 5 decades, Voyager has been our silent messenger, carrying humanity's voice into the unknown. But now, the unknown has answered, not with words, but with precision, patience, and intent. The reactivated instruments. The hidden lattice of coordinates. The outbound transmission. The selective heating. And the shadow. Each step, like a key turning in a lock we never knew existed. If Voyager is being guided, then whatever lies ahead has known of us since before the probe left Earth. And if this is first contact, it is nothing like we imagined. No shining beacon. No clear message. No meeting of equals. Only the quiet, deliberate choreography of something vast, watching from the dark. For decades, we believed we would be the ones to make contact. But Voyager's path suggests otherwise. Perhaps they have been here all along, hidden between the stars, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. And now, the countdown has begun. In a matter of weeks, Voyager will reach the shadow. What happens then, no one can predict. A farewell. A revelation. Or the beginning of something that will alter human history forever. One truth is unavoidable. For the first time in history, humanity is not